Today we have with us Mr. Jitendra Jagadev. He is the founder and CEO of Nestaway.
Hi, Tanmay.
Jitendra, thank you for taking your time out and speaking to ETH Insights. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and I think very happy and glad to talk about all the things about PropTech and Nestaway.
It's our pleasure. Let me begin by asking you, before we get into the thick of things, now PropTech and technologies with the rental market is something very new to India. So if you can just touch upon this technology and how do you see it evolving in India?
So, Tanmay, Nestaway is in the most shortest way. If I go describe, it's like Airbnb for
Right.
longer term, right?
Okay.
So it's like in one sentence. So interestingly, in the global landscape, similar companies like Nestaway have been in much larger size because they have been in the market for much longer period of time. So you have companies like Z Rooms in China who have like 10 million houses in the world, and we have like Quinto Andar in Brazil. So there are a lot of companies which are in similar kind of areas in other global landscape which are doing much larger scale. In India, it has been pretty nascent, so it has been like very early. And what we have seen in PropTech is like the number of people opting to rent and stay at a place is increasing phenomenally high, right? So the number of renters, if you talk today in India, we have almost in the top 8 cities.
Right.
We have 2.2 crores renters, so 22 million people who are staying in rented homes across 8 cities, and this majorly includes around 16 million, 1.6 crores are just multi-family living. They're typically families which are staying in rented place, and 40 lakhs are typically people who stay in furnished accommodation like PGs, co-living and all that, and around 20 million, like, so we're talking about like good people, 20 lakh kind of students who are just student living.
Right.
So there are three categories which are majorly renters in India, and together it's like 2.2 crores of renters. So what we have seen that this is like year on year, this is growing at 25%, 30%, and the major top cities, and that's because like a lot of people are just immigrating to the top cities. So now all this was at a one stage largely unorganized. So PropTech rental site actually organizes that so that
Right.
seamlessly people can search a home
Absolutely.
in their mobile app. They can book, they can move in with just a suitcase, and they can stay for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, like whatever time, or even like 2 months, 3 months, and they can move to the near place. So what has happened? The life of a immigrant into a new city has become much seamless through technology like this.
This is very interesting. Now that you talk about, this seamless practice, so obviously technology is on the forefront of this kind of tech. Is there a strategy or a process you put in place to ensure that, if this process which you just explained, how does this go about?
As I said, like Airbnb, it's very similar. Nestaway is a two-way marketplace. So owners come to Nestaway website.
Right.
They publish like all the house details and they make it go live. Right. Once it is live on website, prospective tenants can search for it, and they can switch whichever the house they like the most and it fits their budget and location. They go for it.
Right.
So all that happens over everything digitalized. So once a tenant books, it actually pays online. Then all the KYC is digitalized. So all the KYC details, everything is OTP verified, Aadhaar verified, everything happens automatically and through the technology itself. Even the agreement generation, everything happens through the tech. So all that part is seamless, and the tenant can move in. There is an inspection checklist. What all things are there at home? How is the condition of everything? And when the person moves out, he also gets a similar kind of status. So the whole thing is like for a person who is trying to rent a house, because now a lot of owners have multiple houses. How do
Right.
they manage that? So for my owner side, it becomes very easy to manage a house. So they once they give the house to Nestaway, they can forget and they can keep getting the rent every month.
Right.
For my tenant side, it becomes very easy for them to go for a place and stay there. So it's like a marriage between both of the parties, and it's like as seamless as possible. That's from our side.
Right, right. So basically, you saying that Nestaway takes care of everything. How do you see it in the future evolving in India? Because this is still, as you explained, in a nascent stage. But yes, definitely when things are getting streamlined, people are also getting to understand how this technology works.
Right.
So if you look at the Indian market, say in the next 5 to 10 years, how do you see this PropTech
Yeah.
getting into the
So what we can see is like typically we can get how the other markets globally have evolved. So if you observe like last 1 year, the rent has just increased by 40% in Bangalore, like
Right.
25 to 30% in Mumbai, 25 to 40% in NCR. So this is a very big trend that we are seeing, where the migration to density, higher density, hot localities of a city is increasing drastically.
Right.
No one wishes to stay as far as the Mira Road if they're working in the southern Mumbai.
Right.
So they have to travel. So now what happens? Everyone can't afford. So the type of assets that people were living is changing drastically.
Right.
So independent houses are getting replaced by multi-floor houses, which will be more compact
Right.
to make it more affordable.
Correct.
Right. So the build-to-suit properties will increase drastically, and thus managed living companies like Proptech companies will be more coming into picture, which is what is a condition which will see much more in developed economies, like typically developed cities of Singapore or like New York. You will have much more managed living
Right.
in place. So apart from the affordability part, which Proptech is solving through build-to-suit solutions and matching, there is something called the inclusivity part, which is
Right.
like how
Right.
we are making it more inclusive for the demographies. What you see, like a lot of people are coming to new cities who are coming from very diversified backgrounds.
Correct.
So across religion, across language, or across the type of lifestyle they wish to take, there is no discrimination that we want to kind of have to the prospective people. So that is something that we are trying to majorly solve. So today, if you look at, we only work with owners. We have more than 100,000 owners who work with us across India. And if you look at the scale that we currently operate, like we have given homes to more than 200,000 persons in India, and all of that we have seen like all variety of people. Like there have been transgenders, LGBT. There has been like we had fought lot of discrimination, phobia against people in Mumbai market, against
Right.
religion and all that. So we have done all that. So where we have made it like for a person who coming to a city with a lot of dreams, his dreams or her dreams would be the maximum that we should not touch her. So that is where we have come and we have tried to solve a managed seamless life for the new people.
Right. It's a very valid point. But, I'm intrigued by one thing now that you talk about this seamless process and the rentals getting organized. Now, brokers are the one who
Right.
actually, when you come to a local market, and they are the ones who used to carry out or still carry out this unorganized way of getting rentals. So, are they your competitor, or do you plan to take them as probably a model like a urban company where
Right.
they actually get the local skills under their umbrella and
Right.
diversify? So how does Nestaway think about this?
Yeah. So we work with all the major city. We work with all the major brokers, like small scale brokers. We don't work with large scale
Right.
brokers.
Right.
So for us, the broker definition today, so we work with more than 2,000 brokers across India. Okay. So these are people who could be a retired postman. So he's a broker now. Okay. It
Okay.
could be some housewife. So these are the people who were idle, and their idle time is something that we are trying to reuse. And they know their local experts. They understand the market. They understand the demand, what is coming, and they try to do the matchmaking.
Right.
So we have in fact created a lot of brokers. And we work with existing brokers, but we have created a lot of them. What we understood, like people who have the idle free time is the ones who can actually be the best brokers, because now they understand from both the sides. They talk to the house owners, they talk to the tenants, anything that, and they, because they're local experts, any help that any one of them wants, they're able to do it. So that is how we have been focusing on that part, and today we are very proud that we work extensively with brokers across India.
Right, right. One last question. Since you've talked about the growth, the
Right.
technology, what are your current growth plans in the near future, or anything particularly that Nestaway is looking at to
Right.
develop?
Right. So one of the things that we understood, like, is the affordability part, right? So affordability is a key thing, because like a lot of people who can't afford, because higher rents, people are getting pushed away from better
Right.
locations, from hotter locations. So we used a lot of technology, which one of the very proprietary software we use, which is called Localytics. So Localytics is a purely AI research tool, which kind of predicts what would be rent at any particular location in any particular apartment, and how much the rent would change over the next 1 year
Right.
till that point. And using that technology, we are able to kind of build right partner with the developers to build the right supply, which could give the affordability part to the end users.
Right.
So that is something that we have been working on, and that has given us like phenomenal results. We have like very robust growth over the last 3 years, and that is what we want to kind of continue, and focus mostly on the managed living part, and reach out to all these smaller tier two cities, because we have like we are majorly present in 5 big cities.
Right.
Now we have expanded to the other tier to 14 cities, and that is where we are seeing a great amount of growth happening. So going forward, definitely it's a real estate is one of the rental is one of the largest piece of the PropTech, and a big focus area and growth importance for us.
Right. On that note, Jitendra, thank you very much for your valuable time. I wish you all the best for your
Thank
future
you.
in this.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you.